Hello researchers! Welcome to our Project TVL, Textbook Video Lesson. Today we will be discussing the Module 1 Lesson 2.3, which is stating the research questions. There are things you need to know about this lesson. First, this lesson will guide you how to craft a good research question which is needed in the statement of the problem. And second, this will also help you work on your research paper, particularly your statement of the problem, easily while doing the activities provided for you in this video lesson. So what are you waiting for? Let us proceed right away to the lesson. Did you know that humans are the most intelligent animals in the planet? They are the ones who are asking about many things, asking different questions, testing different experimentations, finding answers on occurrences. That is my nature. And that is supposed to be your nature too. So I want you to bring that skills today. I want you to show your skills in research because basically research is asking questions and finding answers. In practical research too, which is quantitative research, you will likely looking for something, either comparing or contrasting things, and that is evident in numerical data. But before you state your research questions in the statement of the problem, you must be able to learn first the steps in hitting the objectives of your study. In quantitative research, according to stat work, our objective is to examine cause and effect relationship between variables. It is one way to investigate, one way to determine and find out cause and effect relationship or differences between and among variables. When we say between variables, we are referring to two variables. While if we use among variables, we are supposed to indicate three or more variables. There are ways on how to write a good research objectives. The first step to writing your objective is to pinpoint the major focus or problem of research study. Make sure that will clearly describe what you aim to achieve through your research. So you have to identify your research problem. Second step, once you know the primary goal of your research project, you can break it down into smaller steps and separate objectives, and this is manifested in sub-problems. Meaning, you have to choose one general objective that addresses your general problem and a few specific objectives to address your specific problems. Your general objective must be broad enough. Another key step to writing strong research objective is to use SMART format. We must be specific about desired outcome. Make sure that your objective is measurable. It must be realistically achievable. Make your objectives relevant to your research and set a deadline. That is the SMART format. All right? There are something new for you to do as your activity called planning. Researchers, in this activity, you need to apply the tips on how to write research objectives that I have just discussed recently. But before you do the activity, always read the direction. Now, look at the picture number 1. This particular situation was taken in front of Mapandan Public Market. If it is still pandemic, of course, health and safety of everybody is still a concern. How do you view the Mapandan people in the public market? What is the general problem? Write your objectives to address the problems. Next picture. This one was taken lately during the double shifting afternoon classes of students. Is there any other problem as far as implementation of health and safety protocol is concerned? What other problems do you see? Write your objectives to address the problem. What about the picture number 3? This picture has been taken in Mapandan Public Plaza. Do you see those people there? What are they doing? Do you see some issues and problems? Write your objectives to address the problems. This time, let us single out the statement of the problem. The statement of the problem could end with questions. Typically, the questions could contain two variables, measurable relationships and some indications of the population. All right? I'm gonna show you example of statement of the problem and dissect the parts to show the details on how to craft your S.O.P. First, let us study the outline. The statement of the problem has two parts, general problem and specific problem. These general and specific problems are the reason why we address this by writing our general objective and specific objectives. If you notice the slide, S.O.P. has two paragraphs. First paragraph for the general objective, then the next paragraph is for the specific objectives. The sub-problems 1, 2, 3, 4 are under the second paragraph. In this slide, we will consider the sample research title called Implementation of Health and Safety Protocol in Secondary Schools. Now, let us craft the S.O.P. So, S.O.P. is written first at the top, then followed by the first paragraph for the general objective. Always remember that the general objective follows the SMART format. You must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. Our next paragraph is longer because we break down and narrow the problems into specific problems. That is why the paragraph starts with the word specifically. Then we proceed to sub-problem number 1. We have several steps to consider in crafting the research questions under the second paragraph for specific objectives. First step, identify the subject and variables in the title. The subject and variables are very important in crafting your sub-problems. Sub-problem 1 would be the profile of the subject. So the research question 1 would be, what is the profile of the respondent in terms of age, gender, language can speak and write? I considered language literacy because this is important profile in the implementation of HSP. For sub-problem number 2, this focuses on the variables in the title. The variables is the HSP, but it does not just end there. We have to specify some indicators if we would like to measure something. Indicators like domains, factors, aspects, criteria, parameters, and among others. Number 3 sub-problem is unique as compared to the rest of the sub-problems. This sub-problem suggests that your research is quantitative research, meaning we cannot use this question in qualitative research. This question shows a comparison between or among variables, and we will use this sub-problem when we discuss the research hypothesis. When we say significant relationship between variables, we are referring to two variables only. And we can use t-test as the statistical tool. But if we say significant relationship or significant differences among variables, we have to use ANOVA. For the next sub-problem, the last research question indicates an intervention to solve the problem. This intervention may be in the form of programs, activities, intervention scheme, and projects. Research question is always at the bottom no matter how many sub-problems we have. Reminders, before you will do your final activity, since all sub-problems are in the form of question, do not forget to indicate the question mark at the end of each question. Another one, these subproblems need your expertise in probability and statistics because you need them to treat your data that are gathered from the respondents. For your final activity, apply what you have learned in this video lesson by crafting your statement of the problem. You may pass your 2 activity outputs to me anytime at the school once you are done. Write it in a 1/2 sheet of paper. So that's it for today, researchers. See you in the next video lesson. Thank you and God bless.